Welcome to the window tint portion of my Saturn project, and just thought I'd show you some basic things about the kit that I ordered before we get started. And I ordered it from a company called precutautotint.com or precutautotint.com. And this little brochure comes with it with some basic instructions. Pre-fit means that we don't have to texture the material supposedly around curvatures in the windows, particularly in the back window. Hopefully that's going to work out. What comes in the kit, and it comes in this small roll here, are all the window pieces. This is the rear window, obviously, and it's coming in two sections, so we're going to have to cut that. We're going to have a little bit of issue with this rear window. Maybe show you what happens there. I could not get the old tint off, and the rubber moldings were almost impossible to get out. Now the other thing that's going to be very interesting is on the back side. It comes in two pieces. This is the top piece, which they say to install first, and then we have the bottom piece, which would go in second. How we're going to get these seams to match up is going to be a real interesting thing, especially because back windows aren't that easy in the first place. Rolling them on and sliding them around, and the space is rather cramped. I did notice here that it does have the cutout for the, you can see it, has a cutout for the defroster out there, so that's supposedly not going to be a problem. It probably is something we're going to use to align this thing with when we put it on. But that's what you get in a pre-cut auto tint kit. And I'm going to start with the rear windows here today, hopefully, and I'll let you know how that goes. Thanks for watching. Okay, the second part of my intro to window tinting. Thought I'd actually go ahead and do one of these windows. This is the rear door wing window, or whatever you might call it, and tell you a little bit about some of the other stuff that I'm using for this. Firstly, I'm using this is my water tank, because the water here is pretty alkaline, so I'm using a distilled water or just a purified drinking water for that washing. And I bought this kit on eBay for about $15, maybe $10. It's a window application kit, and it has most of the tools you're going to need, maybe even more of them. Applicator or pressure thing, a matador that has a steel thing for lifting up some things. I don't know why you'd use this, because it's dangerous. It's possible you're going to scrape the window. This is critical. It's your last step for cleaning off all the water and making sure that it's sealed. And another of these matador things, smaller one. You see some of the videos about installation where they use this credit card type vinyl wrap applicator. I would definitely not recommend that you use that, because it is stiff, very, very stiff. All these things are flexible, and you really need that because all your windows are obviously contoured in some way, and you got to fit that contour. So this finally, the pre-cut tint guys recommend a 1% soap solution. I'm using an ivory soap for that, a clear soap. Tried a dishwashing soap and it turned yellow, so that didn't work. And first thing you got to do is clean all these things as best as possible. I'm using a Windex first, and then this soap. to wash off the Windex, and these windows are probably cleaner than they've ever been on this car. And next we're going to go ahead and try to stick this wrap on there. Okay, here's the start of the process. First thing we're going to do is wash the poop out of this window tint, and the reason for that is we got to get all of the dust and dirt and stuff off of it. So we're washing it off. Point being that any of that dirt and dust that gets on there will show up as a lump or a bump or something on the window, and we don't want that. Then we're going to put it on there the way that it's supposed to fit. You kind of wonder, well, why should I do that? Because well, we just peel the thing off and stick it on there, but I think it's important that you kind of find out how this thing is going to fit on there, and it gives you pretty much an idea how to do that. And once again, these are pre-cut, so there's no trimming involved, although I think maybe eventually we will. And this also gives you a platform for peeling off the plastic. Now, one thing about peeling off this plastic, there's one other video that I've seen about how you do pre-cut installations, and what the guy did was he peeled this down about halfway, and he said, oh, well, that's the best way to do it for alignment, and then peels the rest of it off as he's putting it on. Do not do that. I tried it, it doesn't work, and the reason it doesn't work is you cannot get the alignment proper through the whole sheet, and it just becomes impossible. One other thing about this stuff is once it's on there, once you put the pressure on it, do not try to release it. It will stretch a little bit, and if you stretch this stuff, it's ridiculous. It's done. It's over. Don't even try to rescue it. It's all over. Once it's adhered, it will stretch a little bit when you try to pull it off, and if you stretch it at all, you're done. So this is the first step. We're gonna now peel this completely, and then we're going to start soaping the crap out of it. We'll show you that in the next part. Now, one thing about this particular window is it still has 2 layers of vinyl or window tint that's already been on there. I decided I didn't want to take it off for 2 reasons. One is that it will make it darker, which is fine for this window. I think I want it to be as dark as possible. It's kind of like it's a useless thing anyway, so it's more of an artistic thing. And it was impossible to take this stuff off. I mean, you just scraped it, but it's tucked in behind these rubber things, which I couldn't get out. So I decided, well, we're just going to leave it and see how it sticks. Also recommend you get a chair, get comfortable for this, so you can get down to the level of aligning it properly. And now we're going to start the process first by soaking the poop out of the tint, and soaking the poop out of the window. You want that stuff so it'll slide. Alignment on this particular one is right up to this seam right here, and we're going to move it up as far as possible, because if there's anything to be visible, it's going to be down at the bottom. And for this applicator works really well because we're going to be tucking it inside, and we're going to start the process. After you got it in position and got most of the thing where you want it, then it's a good idea to go through and press on it fairly firmly to get it seated. Then we go with this scraper, and it pretty much is it. There you have it. Anybody can do it. If I can do it. And by the way, I think I bought this whole kit, by the way, for the whole car from precuttint.com. They can pay me a commission if they want to, and they enjoy this video. The whole thing only costs like 25 bucks. I'd buy two if you're just starting, in case you make a mistake. You have another set to back yourself up with. That's it for the intro.